Have you ever wondered why some people in their 40s and 50s seem to effortlessly build wealth, while others, making the same income, struggle paycheck to paycheck for decades? Here's what's eating at you. You've been saving for years, maybe even a decade, but your account balance still feels disappointingly small. You watch your money grow at what feels like a snail's pace, and you're starting to wonder if this whole investing for the future thing is just a scam designed to keep you working forever. Look, I get it. You're doing everything the financial advisors tell you to do. You're budgeting, cutting out the daily latte, putting money into your 401k, but after years of sacrifice, you've got maybe $15,000 or $30,000 to show for it. Meanwhile, your cousin who started investing around the same time somehow has 6 figures and keeps talking about passive income, like he's discovered some secret you missed. Here's the truth nobody tells you. There's one specific number that completely transforms your relationship with money forever. That number is $100,000. Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's partner, wasn't exaggerating when he said getting your first $100,000 is absolutely brutal. But you have to do it because everything changes after that. This isn't motivational fluff. This is mathematical reality. What I'm about to show you is why reaching $100,000 in investments is the most important financial milestone of your life, why it feels impossibly slow until you hit it, and the exact strategies that can cut years off your journey. Comment breakthrough if you're ready to understand why your money hasn't been working hard enough for you yet. Because what I'm about to explain will change how you see every dollar you save. 1. The invisible foundation. Why your first 100K feels like climbing Mount Everest. Here's the painful truth that's probably keeping you awake at night. You've been saving for years, watching your investment account grow at what feels like the speed of molasses, and you're starting to think compound interest is just a myth created by financial advisors to keep you hopeful. When you're building toward your first $100,000, you're essentially in what I call the contribution dominance phase, where your monthly savings completely overshadow any investment returns, making you feel like you're doing all the work while your money sits there doing nothing. There's an ancient parable from Babylon about a farmer who planted a magical tree that would eventually produce golden fruit. For the first 7 years, the tree required constant watering, careful tending, and protection from storms, but produced no fruit whatsoever. The farmer's neighbors mocked him daily, pointing to their vegetable gardens that produced food within months. "Why waste 7 years on a tree that gives you nothing?" they laughed. The farmer's wife begged him to cut down the tree and plant vegetables like everyone else. But the farmer understood something profound about time and growth that others couldn't see. In the 8th year, the tree finally began producing golden fruit. Not just a few pieces, but more each month than the farmer had ever imagined. By the 10th year, the tree produced more gold in a single season than his neighbors' gardens had produced in their entire lifetimes. By the 15th year, the golden tree was generating so much wealth that the farmer never had to work again. The neighbors who had mocked him for 7 years now begged to know his secret, but it was too late for them to plant their own trees. The farmer's wisdom. The first 7 years, I worked for the tree. Now the tree works for me. Apply the Babylonian farmer's patience principle to your wealth building. Understand that your first $100,000 is like those first 7 years. You're building an invisible foundation that will eventually work harder than you do. Don't judge the process by the slow early returns. Here's your golden tree strategy. Calculate exactly how long it should take you to reach $100,000 based on your current savings rate. If you're saving $10,000 per year at 7% returns, expect 7.8 years to hit your first 100K. Track your progress monthly, but measure success by your contribution consistency, not the account balance growth. Create a tree growth chart showing your projected wealth at years 10, 15, and 20 to maintain perspective during the slow early years. Most importantly, automate your investments so you're watering the tree, whether you feel motivated or not. A young apprentice complained to his master carpenter that after 3 years of training, he was still making simple joints while other trades offered quicker profits. The master smiled. "Son, I'm not teaching you to build a house. I'm teaching you to build 1,000 houses." The electrician learns his trade in months, but his skills plateau. Your skills will compound for decades. Understanding that you're building compound wealth, not quick returns, transforms every monthly contribution from a sacrifice into an investment in your future freedom. But that's just the obvious part. What I'm about to reveal is what makes the difference between those who $100 and those who give up halfway. 2. The compound awakening. When your money finally starts working harder than you do. Wait, there's something you need to pay attention to if you don't want to lose everything you've built so far. Most people hit around $40,000 or $50,000 in their investment accounts and make a devastating mistake. They start thinking they can time the market, pick individual stocks, or chase the latest investment trend because their small account isn't growing fast enough. This is where decades of patient saving get destroyed in months of impatient decisions. The cruel irony is that you're usually just 2 to 3 years away from the breakthrough moment when compound interest becomes a meaningful force in your life. There's a powerful story from Jewish tradition about a merchant who spent 20 years slowly, methodically filling enormous stone jars with olive oil, one precious drop at a time. His customers would mock him, saying, "Why not buy larger containers? Why not invest in faster methods?" The merchant continued his patient process. Other merchants bought and sold quickly, making rapid profits that impressed everyone in the marketplace. But during the 20th year, something remarkable happened. The merchant had accumulated so much high-quality olive oil that when a severe shortage struck the region, his slow and steady accumulation was worth more than all the quick-profit merchants' businesses combined. The other merchants had been focused on speed and excitement, constantly buying and selling, while the patient merchant understood the power of consistent accumulation over time. The shortage revealed the difference between those who built real wealth through patience and those who built the illusion of wealth through activity. The Jewish teaching, steady streams carve the deepest canyons, while rushing floods disappear into the desert. Focus on reaching the mathematical tipping point where your investment returns begin matching your monthly contributions. At $100,000 invested at 7%, you're earning approximately $7,000 annually. That's $583 monthly in returns you didn't have to work for. This is when you stop being the primary contributor to your wealth and start becoming the manager of money that works for you. Calculate your compound crossover point, the moment when your annual investment returns equal your annual contributions. For most people, saving $10,000 yearly, this happens around $142,000 invested. Create a monthly tracking sheet showing 3 numbers: your contributions, your returns, and the ratio between them. When returns start approaching 50% of your contributions, you're entering the compound zone. Set up automatic rebalancing to resist the urge to help your investments with active trading. Use the 1-year rule. Any major investment change must be researched for a full year before implementation. An old fisherman taught his grandson the difference between catching fish and building wealth. "Son, when you're young, you cast your line and hope for fish. When you're experienced, you set multiple lines and nets that work while you sleep." The amateur thinks fishing is about catching. The master knows fishing is about the systems. When your investment returns begin approaching your contribution amounts, you've transitioned from amateur wealth building to master wealth building. Your systems are starting to work while you sleep. And what I'm about to say is what makes the difference between reaching $100,000 in 8 years versus 15 years. 3. The acceleration protocol, how to cut years off your journey to 6 figures. But that's just the surface. What's behind it is what will startle people. Everyone focuses on cutting expenses and investing the difference. But they're missing the most powerful wealth-building lever available: income optimization, combined with expense engineering. The people who reach $100,000 in 5 to 6 years instead of 8 to 10 years understand that you can't save your way to wealth fast enough, but you can earn your way there while optimizing your spending strategically. In ancient Rome, there lived 2 gladiators who both wanted to earn their freedom. The first gladiator, Marcus, focused entirely on defense, saving every coin, eating the cheapest food, wearing the same clothes until they fell apart. He calculated that at his current earnings, it would take him 15 years to buy his freedom. The second gladiator, Lucius, took a different approach. He invested time in training harder, learning new fighting techniques, and building relationships with wealthy patrons who could sponsor bigger fights with larger purses. But Lucius was also strategic about his expenses. He spent money on better equipment that would help him win more fights, on higher quality food that would improve his performance, and on a modest but clean living space that impressed potential sponsors. While Marcus saved defensively, Lucius optimized offensively. Within 5 years, Lucius had earned enough to buy his freedom, while Marcus was still counting coins and eating scraps. The Roman lesson: defense preserves what you have, but offense creates what you need. Implement the triple lever strategy. Simultaneously optimize income, expenses, and investment returns instead of focusing on just one area. Maximum impact comes from improving all 3 systematically, rather than perfecting one while ignoring the others. Execute the income acceleration audit. List all possible ways to increase your income within 12 months. Employer 401k match, immediate 100% return, asking for a raise, research market rates first, developing one high-value skill through online courses, starting a weekend side business in an area you already understand. Then implement the strategic expense optimization. Track expenses for 30 days, identify the top 5 expense categories, reduce each by 15% through smarter choices, not deprivation. Finally, automate the compound maximization system. Set up automatic increases to your investment contributions every time you get a raise, bonus, or side income payment. A master archer taught his student the difference between good and great marksmanship. A good archer focuses on hitting the target. A great archer focuses on perfecting his stance, his breathing, and his release. Then hitting the target becomes inevitable. The fastest route to $100,000 isn't focusing obsessively on the account balance, but perfecting your income systems, expense efficiency, and investment consistency. Then reaching 6 figures becomes mathematically inevitable. All of the above will be meaningless if you miss the last detail that separates those who actually reach $100 from those who get stuck forever at $30,000. 4. The psychological breakthrough. Why $100,000 changes your brain, not just your bank account. I'll tell you something that many people regret for the rest of their lives, just because they didn't realize it in time. Reaching $100,000 isn't just a financial milestone. It's a complete psychological transformation that changes how you think about money, risk, and opportunity forever. Most people focus entirely on the mathematical benefits of compound interest, but they completely miss the mental benefits that actually determine whether you'll build lasting wealth or not. The people who reach $100 and then quickly grow it to $500K or $1 million aren't just benefiting from compound interest. They've developed what psychologists call investor identity and abundance mindset that creates opportunities everywhere they look. There's a profound teaching from the ancient Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu about a master potter who spent 30 years perfecting his craft. For the first 20 years, students would ask him, "Master, When will you teach us to make valuable pottery that sells for high prices? The master would smile and say, "First, you must understand clay." Students grew frustrated watching him work with simple, seemingly worthless pieces, while other potters in the market sold elaborate, expensive works. But in the 21st year, something remarkable happened. The master's understanding of clay had become so profound that he could create pottery of extraordinary beauty and value with seemingly effortless movements. His pieces commanded prices 10 times higher than the elaborate works of other potters. Students realized the master wasn't just teaching pottery technique. He was developing potter consciousness. Students asked, "Why didn't you tell us this was about becoming a different kind of person?" The master replied, "Because until you held clay for 20 years, you couldn't understand what I meant." Recognize that reaching $100,000 develops wealth consciousness, a fundamental shift in how you perceive money, opportunity, and risk. This psychological change creates more wealth than the compound interest itself by enabling you to make better financial decisions for the rest of your life. Implement the Wealth Identity Development System. Track your monthly investment contributions like a professional athlete tracks training metrics. Study investment principles for 30 minutes weekly to build financial confidence. Join investment-focused communities online or locally to surround yourself with growth-minded people. Celebrate every $10,000 milestone with a meaningful but modest reward. Practice future self-visualization. Spend 10 minutes monthly imagining how your life will change when your investments generate $500 to $1,000 monthly in passive income. This isn't fantasy. It's mental rehearsal for the mindset shift that creates lasting wealth. A wise teacher asked his struggling student, "What's the difference between a poor person and a rich person?" The student answered, "Money." The teacher shook his head. "A poor person sees every dollar as something to spend. A rich person sees every dollar as a seed to plant. Same dollar, different consciousness." When you reach $100,000, you don't just have more money. You have wealth consciousness that turns every financial decision into a wealth-building opportunity rather than just an expense to manage. Now, let me tie all of this together with the one choice that will determine whether you join the ranks of people whose money works harder than they do. Here's the truth that changes everything. The journey to your first $100,000 is like that Babylonian farmer's golden tree. The first 7 years feel like pure sacrifice with little visible reward, but you're building an invisible foundation that will eventually work harder than you do. The Persian chess master started with a single grain of rice but understood exponential mathematics. The Jewish merchant filled his jars one drop at a time, while others chased quick profits. The Roman gladiator optimized offense and defense simultaneously. And the Chinese potter developed master consciousness through years of patient practice. You've learned the 4 breakthrough principles. Build your invisible foundation through consistent contributions despite slow early growth. Wait for the compound awakening when your returns start matching your contributions. Accelerate your journey through income optimization and strategic expense management, and develop the wealth consciousness that transforms how you think about every dollar forever. The mathematical reality is this. Your first $100,000 takes approximately 7.8 years at $10,000 annual savings. Your second $100,000 takes only 5.1 years. Your third takes 3.8 years. This isn't magic. It's compound mathematics finally working in your favor. Here's what I need you to do right now. Calculate your current net worth, set up automatic investments, even if you can only start with $100 monthly, and focus on optimizing your income over the next 12 months. Don't wait for perfect conditions. The best time to plant your golden tree was 10 years ago, but the second best time is today. Comment breakthrough if you're ready to stop making excuses and start building the foundation for financial freedom. Tell me your current savings rate. and I'll calculate exactly when you'll hit your $100,000 milestone. Should I create a follow-up video showing the exact investment accounts, percentage allocations, and automation systems that successful people use to reach 100K faster than the average person? Remember this, every wealthy person had to cross the $100,000 threshold. The first $100,000 is the hardest money you'll ever save, but it's also the most important. Your future millionaire self is waiting for the decision you make today.